Hey digital defenders, welcome to Tech Curiosity Stream, where we arm you with the knowledge to survive the internet's dark alleys. Today, we're tackling cybersecurity, the ultimate shield against hackers, scammers, and that sketchy email from Prince Nnamdi. We're diving deep into the matrix, breaking down complex code into bite-sized bits, so you can protect your precious data. Think of this as your crash course in digital self-defense, because in this digital age, ignorance isn't bliss, it's an open invitation for trouble. Before we fortify your digital life, do the thing, subscribe and slap that notification bell. Ready to become hack-proof? Let's lock and load. Alright, let's get this straight. Cybersecurity isn't just for tech wizards coding in their parents' basements. This is about you, your data, your digital life. Think of it as your Kevlar vest, but instead of stopping bullets, it's stopping viruses, phishing attacks, ransomware, and all those nasty digital threats lurking in the internet's shadows. First up, viruses. These are like the common cold of the internet, except instead of sneezing, your computer might start spitting out spam emails or, worse, melt down like that one scene in Terminator 2. And speaking of things that'll make you sweat, let's talk about phishing. These are the scammers who are basically catfishing you, but instead of looking for love, they're after your passwords, credit card info, you name it. And then there's the big baddie, ransomware. Imagine digital kidnappers breaking into your computer, locking up all your precious files, your photos, your music, that super important essay due tomorrow, and then demanding a hefty ransom to get it all back. Not cool, right? Now here's a fun fact that's not so fun. 93% of these cyber attacks, they start with human error. That's right, clicking that sketchy link, downloading that suspicious file, or even just ignoring that update later button. That's basically like leaving the front door of your digital house wide open. Don't be that person. Stay tuned because in the next chapter, we're taking a trip down memory lane to see how we got here. Spoiler alert, it involves a Nigerian prince, a whole lot of spam, and enough digital carnage to make your head spin. Buckle up, folks. We're hopping into our digital DeLorean and taking a trip through the history of cyber threats. First stop, 1971. Back when computers were the size of refrigerators and the internet was just a twinkle in someone's eye. This is where we meet Creeper, the OG of viruses. This digital dinosaur was more of a prankster than a villain, though. It'd infect your computer and display the message, "I'm the Creeper." Catch me if you can. Harmless fun, right? Fast forward to 1988. The internet is finding its feet, and along comes the Morris worm, an ambitious piece of code that accidentally brought down like 10% of the entire internet. Oops, this wasn't some malicious attack, more like a coding experiment gone wrong, but it showed the world just how vulnerable this whole internet thing really was. Now let's fast forward again to the 2000s. Remember those emails from a Nigerian prince promising you a fortune? Yeah, that was peak phishing, and it funded a lot of yachts, but probably not many orphans. Hackers got smarter, scams got slicker, and the internet became a much riskier place to hang out. And that brings us to today, the 2020s. We've got deepfakes that can make anyone say anything, AI-powered scams that are harder than ever to spot, and enough data breaches to make your head spin. The point is, hackers are constantly evolving, always finding new ways to exploit our digital lives. Alright, time to meet the bad guys. And trust me, the world of cybersecurity is not a simple cops and robbers situation. We've got a whole rogues gallery of villains, each with their own MO and level of sophistication. First up, the script kiddies. These are the amateurs, the newbies of the hacking world. They're basically using pre-made hacking tools. Think of it like bringing a BB gun to a tank fight. They might deface a website or launch a DDoS attack, but they're not exactly breaking into the Pentagon yet. Speaking of breaking into high-security places, let's talk about state-sponsored hackers. These are the pros, the elite units of the cyber warfare world. They're backed by governments, funded by massive budgets, and their mission is to steal state secrets, disrupt critical infrastructure, and generally wreak havoc on their enemies. Now let's talk about scammers. These are the con artists of the digital world, the masters of social engineering. They could be posing as tech support to steal your passwords, or creating fake online stores to steal your credit card information. And then we've got botnets. These are basically armies of infected devices, controlled by a single hacker. They can be used to launch massive DDoS attacks, send spam emails, or even mine cryptocurrency. The bottom line is, you're a target. Your data, from your social media passwords to your credit card information, is valuable, and it's being bought and sold on the dark web. Your digital armory. Tools to fight back. Don't worry, we're not just going to leave you hanging. Now that you know the enemy, it's time to gear up with the tools you need to fight back. Think of this as building your own digital fortress, brick by digital brick. First up, password managers. These are your new best friends. I know, remembering a million different passwords is a pain. But using the same weak password for everything is like using the same key for your house, your car, and your diary. A password manager generates and stores unique, complex passwords for all your accounts, so you only have to remember one master password. Next up, VPNs or virtual private networks. These are like invisibility cloaks for your internet traffic. They encrypt your data and route it through a secure server, making it much harder for hackers to spy on your online activity. Two-factor authentication, or 2FA. This is like adding a deadbolt to your front door. Even if someone gets their hands on your password, they still need a second form of verification, like a code sent to your phone or a fingerprint scan, to access your account. Ad blockers. Because those annoying pop-ups and flashing banners aren't just distracting, they're often tracking your every move online. An ad blocker will block those trackers and give you a much cleaner, faster browsing experience. And here's a pro tip: update your router. Yes, that dusty box hiding under your TV, it's the gateway to your home network, and if it's running outdated firmware, it's a major security risk. When giants fall, epic cyber attacks explained. Now let's take a look at some real-world examples of what happens when cybersecurity goes wrong. We're talking about those massive data breaches, the ones that make headlines and cost companies millions, even billions of dollars. Remember Target back in 2013? They got hacked, and millions of credit card numbers were stolen. How did it happen? Through their HVAC system. That's right, the hackers got into Target's network through a third-party vendor responsible for their air conditioning. Then there's Equifax, one of the biggest credit reporting agencies in the world. In 2017, they had a data breach that exposed the personal information of over 147 million people. And the reason? They failed to patch a known vulnerability in their software. And who can forget Colonial Pipeline, the company responsible for nearly half of the fuel supply on the east coast of the United States. In 2021, they were hit by a ransomware attack that shut down their entire pipeline for days. They ended up paying a $4.4 million ransom in Bitcoin to get their systems back online. And the worst part? The hackers got in using a compromised password that wasn't even that strong. The lesson here is that no one is immune to cyber attacks, not even giant corporations with massive security budgets. So far, we've talked a lot about the bad guys, but what about the good guys, the ones who are using their powers for good? That's where ethical hackers come in. These are the cybersecurity professionals who are paid to hack into systems, but with permission. Think of them as digital penetration testers. They use the same tools and techniques as malicious hackers, but their goal is to find vulnerabilities before the bad guys do. They then report these vulnerabilities to the company so they can be fixed before they can be exploited. Then there are bug bounty hunters. These are the lone wolves of the cybersecurity world, the digital bounty hunters. They spend their days searching for vulnerabilities in software and websites. And when they find one, they report it to the company in exchange for a bounty, a cash reward that can range from a few $100s to tens of thousands, even millions of dollars, depending on the severity of the vulnerability. If you're thinking about a career in cybersecurity, becoming an ethical hacker is a great option. There are tons of certifications you can get, like the Certified Ethical Hacker CEH or CompTIA Security Plus, that will give you the skills and knowledge you need to succeed in this field. The world of cybersecurity is constantly evolving, and the threats we face today are only going to get more sophisticated in the future. So let's take a look at some of the emerging threats that are keeping cybersecurity experts up at night. First up, AI-powered scams. Imagine getting a call from your mom, asking for help with a computer problem. You'd probably do anything to help her, right? But what if it wasn't actually your mom? What if it was a scammer using AI to clone her voice? That's the reality we're facing with AI-powered scams. Then there's quantum computing. Quantum computers are still in their early stages of development, but when they do become mainstream, they'll have the potential to break the encryption we rely on to secure our online communications and transactions. And then there's the stuff of science fiction brain-computer interfaces. Companies like Neuralink are developing devices that will allow our brains to interact directly with computers. But what happens when hackers get their hands on this technology? Could they hack into our brains and steal our thoughts? It sounds crazy, but these are the kinds of threats we need to start thinking about now. We've covered a lot of ground here, from the history of cyber threats to the tools you can use to protect yourself. But at the end of the day, the best defense against cyber attacks is you. So here's your cybersecurity survival guide. 1. Be skeptical. Don't click on links or open attachments from senders you don't recognize. And be wary of anything that seems too good to be true, because it probably is. 2. Use strong passwords. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's important. Use a password manager to generate and store unique, complex passwords for all your accounts. 3. Enable two-factor authentication whenever possible. This is one of the easiest and most effective ways to protect your accounts. 4. Keep your software up to date. Software updates often include security patches that fix known vulnerabilities. 5. Back up your data regularly. If you do get hacked, you'll be glad you did. 6. Be careful what you share online. The more information you share about yourself online, the easier it is for hackers to target you. 7. Use a VPN when connecting to public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi networks are notoriously insecure. 8. Be aware of phishing scams. Phishing emails and websites are designed to trick you into giving up your personal information. 9. Teach your family and friends about cybersecurity. The more people who are aware of the risks, the safer we'll all be. If you're now side-eyeing every email, smash like, share this video and subscribe. Ring that bell. We've got dark web exposés, crypto scams, and AI ethics dropping soon. Thanks for leveling up your cyber skills. Remember, the internet's a jungle, but you're now the apex predator. Stay sharp, stay safe, and stay one step ahead of the bad guys. See you in the next video. Until then, stay curious.